keep in mind, we're already past the halfway point of round 3. So we're almost 3/4 done with Pro League. And this guy has only come out twice. That speaks a lot to the volumes. We were talking about it a little bit before, you know, how every team house has in-house rankings, and I think Sora just kind of fell off because he just has not found play here.
Yeah, he's not doing well in individual leagues either. So, I mean, you look at this and you think, well, it's only 2 games. So what if he's doing well in other leagues? Well, he's just not. Bomber, on the other hand, is doing really, really well. Much better than people are expecting to see from him in GSL. 3-3 in Pro League isn't that impressive, but he's actually run into such impressive opponents that it's hard to actually, take anything away from this guy. 1-2 versus Protoss, but he's taken out some good Protosses in the past and recent times as well in individual leagues. He is 0-2 versus Sora, but I feel like this is before Bomber came back to full form.
I wonder where that's from, actually. Kind of speaks to me as like a best-of-3 where he got 0-2'd by Sora back when Sora was very, very strong, like you were saying.
Maybe even WCG qualifiers for 2013 or something.
Could be. Regardless, I feel like it's not going to have much of an effect on this game here, unless Bomber has some kind of weird, thing in his mind where he's like, oh, I just can't beat Sora for some reason, but I doubt that's there. Like we said, probably from a long time ago.
Yeah, very unlikely he'll be phased by this. Sora looks really nervous, man. Let's go into this game on Coda. Sora versus Bomber.
Down here in the bottom right in the yellow, another Protoss player out of Seasantis. It is Sora.
Up to the top left in pink, SBENU. It's Bomber. Bomber, a long history in Starcraft 2. Much, much longer than Sora. Switched over way before Kespa was even thinking about doing Starcraft 2 during the ESF era. And, this was a time period where Bomber had left the Eastro Pro Gaming team and was looking for successes, and then eventually found his way into StarTale. And after that, Red Bull sponsorships. He's been just an incredible player. Gone from Korea for a while, focusing on North America. His English has, become incredible. His English was even good back when I first moved to Korea. It's gotten so much better. The guy is an international player who a lot of people were expecting might fall off a little bit compared to some of these top Koreans. You can almost compare or liken Bomber to the likes of someone like Polt, who kind of moved into the North American region and never looked back. But Bomber came back, and he still looks good.
Yeah, he came back. He joined SPENU. He's like, oh, I'm still here, guys. Bomber up there with the oldest pro gamers we actually have. I think he's 1988, if I'm not mistaken.
Just 2 years older than me.
27 years old this year, international age. So there you go. I mean, he's still making it work. He's up there with the old guys, and he's still, wrestling, tumbling with these younger guys. I'd be curious to see how young actually Sora is. We usually butcher the the ages actually of some of these players because like Flash, he's been around for so long, but he's actually only like 21. It's kind of insane.
Yeah. I'm actually going to look that up right now because I'm really curious. He is 1994, 21. So quite significantly younger.
Yeah. I think actually Flash is 92. So 23 this year, I suppose.
But
anyway.
Let's talk about these builds, specifically Bombers. We're seeing the same sort of opening that we saw just a little bit earlier from MMA. CC first. Going into 2 barracks follow-up, though, not straight into the gas, so not as greedy. Because we saw a straight factory follow-up. So this is like old school. This is like what you see when the CC first versus Zerg, for example. We're seeing against Protoss.
Sora, by the way, takes another giant breath, looking very nervous in the booth, kind of hunched over. Hope that doesn't affect this play. We're going to see some very aggressive chrono boosting actually on the gateway units here from Sora. Maybe studying a bit of what Bomber likes to do. Know that Bomber loves to go for very early CC and wants to put on the pressure. It's a 2-player map.
Yeah.
And he could definitely can do damage before that bunker gets up.
He chronos the Zealot, then chronos the Mothership Core. So the Mothership Core and the Zealot, the slower of the 2 units that are, or the slower 2 units that are coming across the map, whereas the Stalker actually can get across there pretty quick. It's going to pop out here, and even though it can't fly, should be able to catch up Actually deciding to leave it at home instead, though, I guess to try to stop Reapers. Even without the Stalker, though, he can do damage versus CC first. But Bomber is not just doing the 2 barracks swap, he's doing the 3 barracks swap, a strategy that he actually popularized in Korea. And then, of course, overseas, players like him, Polt, MMA like to do this strategy. We don't see it really that often anymore. We saw it a lot in Wings of Liberty.
Yeah, from time to time we see it. We actually saw it yesterday, too. It's just very safe. You know, you get the CC out, but you also have a lot of units to follow up. It's very good against holding Blink all-ins. I remember kind of a sad game where San tried to go for a Blink all-in against Cure, I think, where Cure just went for this, and he just got totally stopped.
Yeah.
Hardcore. It had no chance of winning. And that's kind of what this build speaks to me. You know, Bomber, he wants to get that early CC, but he also wants to be safe. And I think that's good against a player like Sora. You don't really see him all that often these days. It's good to just be safe against these kinds of players.
It's safe, and it also gives you an aggressive follow-up with a heavy Marine count to try to force maybe a Nexus cannon to be used. Trying to get kills here with this Mothership Core, but needs to be careful. Stalker's actually going to come in here meanwhile. So this is what I was talking about. This is why I was expecting him to send the Stalker right away. Had he done that, he might have been able to challenge those Marines early on with the Zealot instead of just kind of it flimsily being chased out.
We're seeing finally Bomber commit to a bunker. I think that's very smart. He doesn't really know what's on the other side. He has no real scouting information of what Sora's doing, so he's saying, okay, I need to put down some kind of bunker. Let me make an engineering bay too, like just scramble to get all your safe buildings out.
It's an Oracle on the way versus this heavy Marine count. I think he's going to make several. I don't think he's just going to make one. And that forward pylon that he has, well, it's not really forward, but it's slightly forward. Could be for, you know, following up with an attack. Really curious. He's still just made the one for now. Stalker being microed like crazy here, but doesn't get any kills. If he just makes the one Oracle here, it's just frankly way too late to do massive damage. He's going to try to have to find some damage here.
It's kind of like the Hero Oracle we saw earlier on, where it's just there. It's maybe going to get an SCV building a building. You know, he did weaken some of the SCVs earlier on. He's going to find like 1 or 2 kills, but that's about it. And he can't really commit to much damage besides that. It's just going to be kind of a scouting utility type of Oracle instead.
I was thinking we were going to see something like we've seen some MC in the past, or even San sometimes with the Oracle into like a big gateway push, something with several Oracles, because it's just straight Marines. Because you see that a lot oftentimes against the 3 barracks fall, because the gas is later, the tech is later, your stim is later, but you have a bunch of Marines that are kind of weaker, and Oracles do decently well against them if you have Stalker support. And you know, Oracles kill Marines very quickly. You cannot lose this though, because so he gets it away. Because if you get that 1 kill, and it's like just like Hero did. If you get away, you can use it later if it dies, and it's like, well, okay, well,
then you committed to Stargate and Oracle and got 1 kill, and it's not worth that at all. Gonna find another Marine.
See, I don't even like this. I think this is just like too try hard for me.
Sora's been doing this the entire game, actually, though. Like sending the Zealot in, he like swipes 1 SCV once and then hides it. You know, he's very much trying to get the tiny advantages in this game. Stalker moves in, gets like a couple of shots on a Marine before he gets into the bunker. Interesting play.
Yeah. It's so high risk, small reward.
Yeah.
That's why
That's
I
a good
worry
way
about
to put it, actually.
It's like it's somewhat counterintuitive. If you're perfect though, you can get a small advantage.
And so far he hasn't lost any of the units, so it's not bad.
Yeah.
The way it's worked out.
2 kills for him in total now. Not a single unit lost on his side of things.
Looks like he's doing a very similar build to what Hero did, actually. He takes a much quicker 3rd base, and then he gets a later Twilight Council after he starts making the Colossi.
Yeah. Slightly faster range than what Hero got for his Colossi. Ooh, see, that's like the greedy moment where he's like, can I get that SCV? I'm like, don't try it, man.
You can't.
Do not try that. He might have been able to, like, if Bomber hadn't been paying attention, but even Bomber now on the chase.
I just want to see him tag the medevacs and run away.
That's
what you got to do here.
Oh. Okay. Should be able to do it, right? He has enough energy. Yeah. So actually just, he knows where they are, so he's not even going to waste the energy. Okay, he does it now. I was wondering, I'm like, could do it.
Yeah. You know, that's basically what that Oracle's for right now in this game, because he's not going to find that damage. So. We do see Bomber. He has a lot of Marines. He's not really able to find that harass damage. The 3rd CC is finally going to finish up, but it's in the main. And, you know, Sora's already got this 3rd base up and saturated. He's already up to 64 probes, whereas Bomber's still at 51. I think this 3rd base, this very fast 3rd base of Sora is going to pay off very much so.
Yeah. I mean, it's untouched. And with that Oracle, he spotted this move out.
Yeah.
Bomber seems a bit timid.
As the Terran player, exactly like you're saying, he has to find that damage, but
it's like I'm wondering. I find myself wondering right now, why is Bomber's army in his main base? I don't see any reason for
Is he just going to go for some gigantic drop, or is he really just playing this passive?
Well, it concerns me if he's just playing this passive because he needs to move out and be aggressive. Now he's starting to move out, almost like he was expecting an attack that just never came. He did. Check.
Oracle got another kill.
He knows about the third base. In fact, that's all the vision that he has on the map. He hasn't seen anything else but the third base in this game.
And he still does have a ton of bio. If you look at the army supplies right now, he's just got a huge amount. Look at that. It's gigantic.
Yeah.
And it looks like the Observer may, in fact, miss that army.
Maybe this was the idea. Maybe this is the plan all along, is just to surprise him with a big attack like this. This is a huge Marine-heavy army, but he's got 13 Marauders with him. I mean, this is 56 Marines, 13 Marauders, 6 Medevacs. Actually, I think 8 as 2 more just popped out. This is a huge army. And with good control, he can do a lot here.
Another huge tag on everything that Bomber has. So Sora is going to try to split up here and defend. Is it going to be enough? That's the question. Really nice force fields to save that third base, but this opens Bomber that path to the natural if he wants it.
And Marine-heavy army, again, because of those early 3 barracks. The ratio here, really good for these Colossi. Like, he's in a great spot to fight these with Colossi. Oh, this might be a mistake, but he's going to try to drop on top with this basically pure Marauder.
And a blink back to try to save this, but at the same time, this is just, again, so much bio pushing in, fights half of Sora's army, and the rest of it not really participating.
Sora literally had 2 Colossi firing at 2 Marauders that entire time on the left side. Poor control, poor reaction there, and Bomber now is just going to win the game.
He's just too far ahead. He's going to focus down that Nexus, may even just get these Colossi. He's going to drop straight on top of them.
Dropping the Mana Mules as well.
Yeah. Bomber says, get out of my game. I won this one.
What a sad ending, though. The surprise attack, Sora had the tools to defend it, but he couldn't get into position fast enough. GG. Poor control in that last fight, did not target his Colossi. Bomber just wrecked him, and SBENU will take the match 3-1.
Yeah. Hero did a much better job of holding off the aggression from MMA. I really have to say, maybe the map was a bit better. Coda slightly easier to hold off compared to Echo. And Bomber just doing a great job with that. Just spamming out a ton of bio, able to split up the army of Sora, forcing him to kind of force field half of his army towards that third base to keep it safe, and just took the great engagement in the natural. And Sora, just another depressed CJ Protoss here in the booth.
I'm not sure why they're using Sora, they're not using Byung. I have a lot of questions for the CJ coach. I just don't think we're going to get answers today, but this has been a rough round for CJ. Very, very, very tough.
Yeah, this is actually going to put them at now 2-3 with the -1 indicator. So not in a great spot at all. It's going to put them in 5th place.
They have a lot of points, though, in the running for playoffs, like the final, the end of all playoffs. But still, this is not going to be good for morale going into round 4, which if they have a bad round 3, round 4 is really important. So, it's a bit worrisome, but SBENU looking really strong today, and all their players coming out bringing their A game.
Yep, they will move into 3rd place. Still, they were before. Tied with CJ, actually, before this match. Going to be 3-2 with a +3, it looks like. Here's today's match result. Hero, the only player to get a win. Biel loses another ZVZ in a game I think he should have won. Leonok able to get that win. Curious and Bomber following it up. 2 veterans able to get wins over Hush and Sora. Two kind of sad Protosses from CJ.
Yeah, we don't get to see Deadwing that ace match, but I feel like MMA, even though he lost here, looked pretty good as well. I mean, he played a very solid game against Hero. He did give Hero a run for his money. He also tried to go for late game Ghost, which had great EMPs and whatnot, and also a pretty handy advantage with the early Widowmine drops, his early upgrades that he got. But Hero just a better player overall, but still, MMA looked good today too. SBENU looked on fire. CJ just having a rough time. Biel with his awkward engagement versus Leonok, where he tried to force the issue. Hush having some tough times, obviously, in the PvZ matchup, and then Bomber just crushing Sora, making him look like he doesn't even belong on CJ. And just that was a pretty one-sided match today, much more than I expected to see.
I actually thought this